Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Moon Knight, Season 1, Episode 2.
Summon the Suit.
So, I like this show. I'm enjoying the what?
I think we're in the exact same spot. That's how I was going to start. I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I like this show. I like the mystery. I like the pieces we have. I kind of found this episode to be insufferable.
Well, okay, because I kind of think we retreaded a lot of what we did in episode 1.
And also, 2/3 of the episode required people being stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I found it, like I said, insufferable because I cannot tell you. So there's Steven and there's Mark. And it appears Steven is the original, the host, and Mark has possessed Steven?
I don't know. I assumed the other way around.
Well, the way Khonshu was talking to Mark at the end, he was like,
you said he wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I were Steven, I would be pleased as punch to let Mark, who's seemingly better at every aspect of life.
I cannot tell you how quickly, if another me who talked like he knew what he was talking about showed up and I would throw the keys.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I would not give over. You couldn't, like, your neck would break.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we spend a third of the movie fighting that. And these people are so certain. It's like we're dealing with very clearly fantastical elements, but yet these people are still so concrete in their certainty and their certitude of what is happening.
Well, especially like Layla, was like, okay, Mark, cut it out with
whatever.
The accent. Yeah, like
he's literally like, my name's Steven. I was born in 13 Wilshire Lane. My mother, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, fine, Steven, don't tell, or Mark, don't tell me. And it's like, and meanwhile, she's dealing with magic stuff.
That's the thing is, like,
it's too easy to believe that either there's.
I was expecting for her to have like zero knowledge of any of this, and then when she like had the scarab and knew what it was and was like, she's the one who says summon the suit, and I'm like, so bitch, you knew all along. You know all of this other stuff. You don't believe that he could have a second personality? Because
also, who's to say that this is the first time that this has ever happened? And so
I don't know.
As an audience member, and especially I watched it twice, that second time, it did not hold up to scrutiny.
Yeah.
And so it is my issue with these Disney Plus shows. In broad strokes, I have enjoyed them, but in more minute, like when we get down to it, I do find a lot of them to be very wheel spinny. To me, it's because they have the money for the most part, but because the suit's so digital. And I'm usually not a stickler about that, with the exception that I don't understand why.
I think that the suit could be practical and the cape could be digital, but it's like they just have put the entire suit digitally on.
Well, even the Colonel Sanders suit was like more often than not digital. Weird. And I was like, I don't understand why.
Here's the other thing too. You said wheel spinny, and I totally agree. And the thing that baffles me the most is that these shows have so few episodes. This show has 6 episodes. Why are we spinning wheels in episode 2? That's like, we could have gotten Layla in episode 1. Like, we didn't.
Layla and then Steven finally accepting Mark is the only thing we got from this episode. Yeah, otherwise, it was a total retread.
That's the thing. Even all of
mild confirmations. Yeah, like very basic confirmations of what. Yeah.
You're right, basic confirmations, because like even all the Ethan Hawke stuff was a retread, and it's like, yeah, I guess we are 100% sure he's running a cult, but I was already pretty sure about that. So like, I don't know.
And so I will give you that it is, the who do you believe of it is interesting, because on one hand, Arthur is a human, so there's a point there. Khonshu is a giant bird skull, so that's I'm going. If
sure,
given
he doesn't look like
the image of the two, I'm gonna pick the human over the giant bird skull.
But again, it's almost a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because he is, even though he is a human, he is still also an avatar for one of these Egyptian gods.
Well, once he starts talking about murdering children because vaccines, I don't know. It was like. I understood. I'm being glib.
No, but you're totally right. Where you just are sitting there kind of, because like Steven is like, so she would kill a child who might do something bad in 30 years. I said it in episode 1. I'm going to say it again. This is just like Minority Report with like magic instead of science. And I don't know, there are flaws in your logic.
And so it's the word that comes to mind is perfunctory. Like it's just sort of, and again, I, in a general sense, I enjoy the concept of these Disney Plus Marvel shows. You know, my actual returns have varied, but it is giving me at this point, having had 5 of them, it's giving me movie that we padded out.
Sure.
As opposed to actually utilizing all of the time we have. Because I'm at places thinking, okay, so who is the gold pantomime character?
Yeah.
He's got to play in somehow.
Mephisto.
and Steven also has a goldfish. I'm trying to connect things.
And the golden scarab?
They're not going to connect it, though. It's like there's these little breadcrumbs that they do have time. Like the writers. So if you haven't watched a little show called The Magicians, that is the single most plot-dense show I have ever seen in my life. And yet it worked. Do you remember the amount of plots they were blowing through in 48 minutes?
Yeah.
Like... And so that's a little bit where I am, where it's like, okay, fine. I was about to lie. I was about to be like, I love the Marvel action sequences. I at best tolerate the Marvel action sequences.
I will say I like them. They are generally good. However,
we had a couple moments in because I did like the 2 ladies being like, is he having a seizure?
Yeah.
No, he's just a fancy drunk.
Do you reckon he's having a seizure? Nah, look at him. He's just a fancy drunk.
Which is funny, but that's also unrelated to the actual action sequence. It's like not a part of the action sequence. And so it's also, you know, they're doing a thing where, you know, he's fighting nothing because no one else can see the jackal except
and also
for
they
him.
Need to save money.
And they need to save money somehow. You know, I don't know. It's all, but I totally agree with you where it's like, I like the Marvel action sequences, but I don't know that every episode needs a huge action set
and
piece.
we get there where it's like, now's the 15 minutes of the episode where we fight for.
Exactly. And I find myself looking for new comforters on the internet. And I'm just sort of like,
because I liked the car chase in the first episode.
Sure. Yeah, that was really neat and fun. But also, and like, I'm showing my hand a little. If you watch us, you know, I liked Loki the best because I am obsessed with Tom Hiddleston. However, there also were moments of quiet and silence
Loki did a lot.
And talking.
Loki
and
did
like
a lot.
Similarly with WandaVision, which was my second favorite one. There's a lot of, that's a lie. I don't know where Hawkeye goes in there. Regardless.
We do this ranking literally every episode.
Every episode. But the thing for me that's so important about these shows is that you can't, it's just, in my opinion, it gets boring when you're doing an action sequence every episode. The things I was so excited for about these shows were the in-between moments. And granted, we don't know Moon Knight yet, but I want some in-between moments. Like, I need for him to sit down and have a conversation with somebody who's gonna fucking listen to him, who's not a nut job cult leader.
That is the issue with Moon Knight, and that is another reason why I'm actually going to transition into stuff I did like and do find interesting. But this is the first time that we're dealing with new characters.
Sure.
So we had, you know, like Sophie was new, and we had Kate was new. Although Kate, I mean, that was a home run.
There was no way that was
the characterization of her was immaculate.
Well, and Haley Steinfeld could turn shit into gold, so.
But we don't know Moon Knight. We don't know, and furthermore,
we don't know
anybody.
Mark, we don't know Arthur. We don't know Layla. Yeah.
And this is a bit of a swing because obviously we have established that there are godlike entities in the MCU because frankly Thor is and Athena and Eternals, yada yada. But we're dealing with like in the MCU because this is part of that. Egyptian deities are real.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. I find that exciting. I think Oscar Isaac's sort of innate charisma is doing a great deal of heavy lifting.
Look, I don't care how bloody handsome you are. Tell me what it is you are. What are you?
You sure you want to know?
Yes, bloody, yes.
I am, even though I'm a little bit fatigued, I do want answers to my questions.
Of course, yeah.
I'm curious to see where we're going.
Yeah.
And it appears we're in Egypt now, which feels like a check, like sweet.
Like maybe now we're gonna like be cooking with gas. I just want to shout out the moment where he and the security guy are watching the footage and he's like, wait, it's coming.
How long am I waiting?
like everything, and then like nothing ever comes. And he's like, well, fast forward to when I come back out of the bathroom, and he does. And it's just
It's
him,
noticeably different.
but it's noticeably different. And he is looking at himself on the camera and he's like, that's not me. And for like everybody else to just be accepting it. And I'm like, he carries himself so differently.
Like
He's
he looks like Mark is hot and Steven isn't.
That's the thing is like,
It's so weird.
I think they're doing makeup stuff too.
Maybe.
To like make more of a difference. It's very
Because even
interesting.
Layla, like with the scene where I want more from her. And I mean,
I want more and differently. She's feeling very Cop with a French braid to me.
just like, because she barges into his apartment and it's just like, are you living here with somebody? And it's like, would you listen to him if he told you? Like, would you believe anything that came out of
you tell me what kind of, like, I believe kinky shit that starts with like an ankle lock or whatever, but then a ring of sand around the bed? That's not kinky.
I would be Homer Simpsoning.
Like, no, like, deuces, we gotta go.
I do find whatever they're called, I can't remember if we've been given a name, but
for the people,
the order,
yeah.
I find them terrifying because when those two, DC Fitzgerald and DC Kennedy, showed up, when he opened the door, those two people were scary.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating because we talked a little bit in the first episode that this show is a little bit scary, and that's welcome for me. I kind of like that. And in that regard, I like not knowing things about this. Although, once again, it does feel like a slight retread of what we were doing in Captain America, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. This seems to be working better because I feel like it wasn't edited within an inch of its life the way that villain was.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of the same thing.
Yeah. It's just like a shadowy cabal so you never know what person you're encountering.
A cult
you can
that
trust.
are making the world better by killing people. And it's like, we've been here.
So many times.
So I do like Khonshu a lot.
I like how put upon he seems.
He's kind of a bitch.
Yeah. It also, it does give me Big Venom vibes, but there's a lot more gravitas because it's F. Murray Abraham, so it's like very satisfying.
Well, and again, I mean, to hit it a second time, I like how bitchy he is.
Yeah.
Like he can just kind of throw tantrums.
Yeah.
And you can't see him, but the effects happen because Arthur was sort of like, he's with you, right? Yeah, he did that to me too. Because it seems like Arthur was a former disciple of Khonshu's.
Yeah. He was his avatar before he was Amit's avatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he left
I guess.
to go with Amit. No, but he wants Khonshu back.
I think he wants to, like, just turn Steven/Mark.
Okay.
I think he wants Khonshu to not have an avatar.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to be his avatar because he is fully hook, line, and sinker into the, like, you have to get the badness out at the root. And I don't know. I mean, do you want to kill baby Hitler? I don't know. What do we do?
And again, I wouldn't mind bringing these questions up and delving into these topics if we do it.
Yeah.
But we bring them up and don't. And so.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, I like the implications of the Egyptian mythology. He has two like chakrams.
Yeah.
That he takes out of his
very cool
chest, and they look like the
he
moon.
Looks cool.
I like when he caught it.
Yeah.
And also they do this thing with Khonshu because Khonshu has the staff where they're frequently framing the staff with a light behind it. So it looks like it's shining.
Yep.
I like that. Oh, I like that we have moved past green fire and are firmly into purple fire.
Purple fire.
That's fun.
Purple magic is fun. I dig it. I dig it a lot.
They did say, so DC Fitzgerald and DC Kennedy, if that's their real names, they said that Mark was part of a team of mercenaries who had like hit an expedition in Egypt and they like straight executed the archaeologists.
That's what it sounds
which sounds shady, and I'm not saying it's not true, but it doesn't seem like Mark is the type that executes archaeologists. So it's like I can believe on a factual level that happened, like
like
that happened.
Those people are dead and they were shot in the back of the head, but
they were probably but they were probably bad guys or something.
Oh, okay,
to that effect.
Sure.
They want the scarab.
Well, Arthur has it now. Ethan Hawke has the scarab now. A man had it and he like was taking it from the man, and then he was like, I wish that you could see the beautiful world that we're
He's
going to have.
saying that, and I literally was like, I don't think that you do.
I don't think you know what that word means.
I quote it all the time, but it's the Susan B. Anthony quote where it's like, I distrust people who know so strongly what God wants them to do.
Yeah.
Because I find it often aligns with their own.
I agree. I agree with that for sure.
And I'm like, I think you want to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really would like for Layla to step it up in her characterization, because that is another thing. She's the sole female character in this show.
Yeah, because I kind of thought we were going to keep the girl from the museum, and we didn't.
I mean, not because so far the female and the representation of these shows has been good.
Yeah.
So, you know, if this is just the show where it's a bunch of dudes, that's whatever.
Yeah. But
however,
we haven't had decent, strong female characters on Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, I'm fine with it, especially because, you know, some of them aren't dudes; they're like Egyptian entities, so it's like a different thing.
I wouldn't hate some synergy, or just I basically I'm kind of treating this like a 2-part premiere, and I'm hoping episodes.
Oh, I see. Sure.
3, 4, 5, and 6 actually do something.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, this is going to start to...
Yeah, this is where I'm going to start to think that they don't have a plan still.
Apparently,
don't?
the tea is that Phase 4 properly kicks off in Doctor Strange.
So we've had like 8 properties?
Well, it's been... I mean, there's an intermission,
Sure.
and there's like, you got to reestablish, and at the beginning of Act 2 of Into the Woods, everybody has to talk about where they are. Like, so, but I think like from what I've heard,
Okay.
Doctor Strange throws things
Everything
into
into
motion.
motion.
It's like
Okay,
it's like
okay.
the Avengers
Okay.
of Phase 1.
Sweet.
So
Okay.
that's what I've heard.
Fingies crossed.
So that would be.
And I will say, I do love just like spreading out the world. I like
if this is all for
more-
something,
yeah.
then great.
I like just learning that like this is out there. And
Yeah.
it's the sort of thing where like in my mind, I'm like, how come nobody's helping with it? And I kind of am like, Thor probably is like, oh, we don't get involved with the Egyptians kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like I just
There's
feel
a shaky truce.
like they
No,
handle their own shit.
If this all goes somewhere, then I'll be that was great, you know, because we're frequently saying we wish that this was established better, or we wish that we had reason to care about yada yada. And I mean, I just said to you, I don't think it was recorded. I think it was off screen, but I watched Infinity War for the first time since watching WandaVision, and all of their
it's different.
It hits so it hits so much differently, because when we watched Infinity War, it's like, because I am invested in Wanda and Vision and Paul and Elizabeth, I think I called it serviceable. It was like serviceable romance and drama. And then post WandaVision, going back and watching it, it's devastating.
Yeah.
So I if the end justifies the means, then great. But at the moment, I'm a little bit like,
where's my ends?
The end justifies the beans.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. And yeah.
We'll see you next week. Bye.